Gurusakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram.
Om Parthaya Pradibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Amba Tvamanusandadami Bhagavad-gite Bhavadveshini Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullaravindayata Patra Netra Venasvaya Bharata Taila Purnaka Prajwalito Jnanamayah Pradipaha Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraikapanaye Yanamudraya Krishnaya Geetamritaduhe Namaha Sarvopanishado Gavo Dokta Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Duktam Geetamritam Mahat Vasudevasutam Devam Tamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Bhishma Dronatata Jayatra Dajala Gandhara Nilotpala Shalya Graghavati Kripena Vahani Karnena Velakula Ashwatthama Vikarna Gora Makara Duryodhana Vartini Sotirna Khalu Pandavairana Nadi Kaivartaka Keshavaha Parasharya Vachas Saroja Mamalam Nidartha Gandhokatam Nanatyanaka Kesharam Harikata Sambodhana Bodhitam Loke Sajjana Shatpadairagharakaha Tepiyamanam Muda Bhuyat Bharata Pankajam Kalimala Pradvamshina Shreyase Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedaihi Sangapada Kramopanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samaga Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaka Yashyantam Navidusura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tva Sarvapabepyah Mokshayichyami Ma Suchah. Hari Om. Thank you, Mama.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. We are in chapter.
Hari Om Guruji. Hari Om Guruji.
Yeah. So the chapter started with Arjuna's question. He wanted to know about 6 terms. Kshetram, Kshetraknaha, Prakriti, Purushan. Then Jnanam, Jnayam. So we have completed the first 2, Kshetram and Kshetraknaha. Kshetraknaha is Paramatma. All the remaining items are Kshetram. Kshetraknaha is the Paramatma. Now we have gone to the topic of Jnanam. Jnanam is normally known as knowledge, arivu. But here he is not talking about that significance. Here he calls it virtues or values. If one has these virtues, his mental health will be very good. This is a measurement of the mental health. Like we have, when we go to a doctor to check the physical health, normal of the physical health, they took all the parameters. What are the parameters? Blood pressure, cholesterol, sugar, all the various cardiogram, functioning of the heart. So they are able to assess from those reports what is the condition of your health. Similarly, to see the health of the mind, we need these virtues. So Krishna has talked about 20 virtues. And each virtue we should have in ourselves. It should be part of us, not separate from us. Out of that, we have discussed 9 virtues in the last 2-3 classes. Amanitvam, Adambitvam, Ahimsa, Shantirarjavam, Acharyopasanam, Shaucham, Stairyam, Atma Vidigraha. 9 of them has been discussed. Now in this session, we will be taking up 4 more values. That is sloka number 8. Indriyarteshu vairagyam. 1 value. Indriyarteshu vairagyam. Anahankara evacha. 2nd value. Anahankara evacha. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha dosha anudarshanam is 1 value. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshanu anudarshanam is called 1 value. Now this verse is like a strong tablet medicine. And that medicine, what we lack now, is called vairagyam, dispassion. Lack of vairagyam, we are living in this miserable life. So he is talking about the various aspects of vairagyam. This is a significant verse for a sadhaka, for a seeker. It is indeed like a powerful tablet that could stir up vairagya. There are certain medicines, when we take, it immediately gives you relief. Plus also it gives you a sort of a cure. What we need is inner fuel. We don't have the fuel now inside. Inner fuel is needed to transcend the body-mind plane. Like in a satellite, they have called rocket fuel. So the rocket fuel will do. See, once we have to cross the atmospheric stage, then we need a higher power to put us in the upper sphere. For that, that we use a rocket fuel. Rocket fuel is supposed to be highly refined fuel. Similarly, for us to cross the mental strata, Srinivasan, mute வச்சுக்கிறதா?
ஆமாண்ணா.
Okay, thank you. So to cross the body mental plane, so we need a fuel, and that is called vairagya. We all have vairagya, but in a very feeble manner, and that is not going to lift us from our present level to the higher level. What is our present level? Our medicines have found lot of medicines and treatment for various types of illness. But no doctor can say that I can give you some medicine which will give you a permanent cure. No. Similarly, suppose if there is one food item which will give us a permanent solution from hunger, not possible. There is no food like that. Whereas when we have vairagyam, that is cultivated from viveka, discriminative capacity. That means we should have atma-jnanam. So if we have to have atma-jnanam, we should have viveka, vairagyam. Then viveka is the moolam for vairagyam. Vairagyam is not called verupu or indifferent. Because normally we say, that when I am fed up with the family life, it's a lot of problems, financial, relations problem. Then we will say that we will run away to Rishikesh. But that is not going to solve the problem because we have not been prepared to go to Rishikesh and continue there. In Bhagavad Gita, they say that I give up everything bodily, physically, but in the mind, I go on dwelling on that. And that is called, in the Gita, 3rd chapter, there is one sloka. Karmendriyani samyamya yaste manasa smaranna indriyatan vimoodatma nityacharaha sa uchyate. It's a hypocrisy. For outside world, I am a sannyasi. I have given up everything. But at the mental level, no. I am still clinging to that object. That is called hypocrisy. Now, in this particular sloka, what he says is, Indriya-artheshu vairagyam. Indriya-artheshu vairagyam. What is Indriya-artheshu? We have 5 sense organs and 5 karmendriyas. So 5 plus 5, 10. Jnanendriyas are the entrance gate. So those indriyas goes out to the world and get the knowledge of the objects and bring it inside to the mind. That is why it's called an entrance gate. And the karmendriyas, after doing the necessary analysis and the solution, it gives instructions to the outside world how to behave. So they are called exit gates. So entrance gates and exit gates. Indriyasya artheshu vairagyam. These sense organs are today directed by the sense objects. That's what we are normally doing it. Sense objects are controlling us. How? I like some food item. Say, for example, I go to Bengal, Calcutta, and I get Rasagulla, and I find the sweet very attractive. After eating the Rasagulla, I come back, but that taste remains in the mind. And then we go on dwelling on that taste. That is called Vishaya Dhyanam. Vishaya Dhyanam. When we go on dwelling on that one, then a day comes that I cannot live without that item. I cannot live without that item. In Bhagavad Gita, the fall of man has been beautifully described in sloka number 2, chapter 262. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodo Vijayate Krodat Bhavati Sammohaha Sammoha Smriti Brahmshaha Smriti Brahmshat Buddhinasaha Buddhinasat Pranashyati. Everything starts with Vishaya Dhyanam. So the object, this is what we are all doing today, Vishaya Dhyanam. So it's like a child, throwing tantrums. That you give him one day one chocolate, it likes it. Next day he asks the mother to give one more chocolate, same chocolate, and the mother says no. Then he shows a tantrum. Forcefully gives that this one. So that means we get addicted to that item. And once we get addicted to that, then our life is become that without that item I cannot live. This is what generally happening. Therefore we accumulate things also. Parigraham. But here what Krishna says is, if you are hungry, you sit on a lunch place and the lunch is started serving. There are two types of foods. One is, it will give you to satisfy your hunger. That is a must, because that you cannot prevent, because our body has to be maintained. But at the same time, after the meal is over, they serve you dessert, ice cream. And that is called Bhogapur. That is for our enjoyment. But that is not going to contribute anything for the body. On the contrary, it will give lot of debilities. So that means what is necessary and what is enjoyable, Bhogapur. And this Vairagyam is defined as do not get attracted to the Bhoga objects. That means you should have a detachment. How you need a detachment? Because if I have discriminative power, viveka, in the buddhi says you are only seeing one side of the food which is giving you pleasure, bhoga, enjoyment. But there is one more side at the back, reverse, which we normally don't see. And that is called dukkha, sorrow. So dukkha is nothing but the reverse of bhoga. This is what discriminative capacity the buddhi is educating us, that don't fall prey to the bhoga item, because bhoga item is have dosha also, and dosha will be sort of a, if you eat more sugar, you get diabetic. Various types of foods. You take too much of spicy foods, it will again corrode your this thing. So these are the dosha. So if I have that viveka, jnanam, and then I have the vairagya, dispassion, vairagya generated out of viveka, that is supposed to be followed. But I don't have viveka. That is not going to work. That you can call it pidivasam. So vairagya is a must. We should know through jnanam what is real and what is unreal. That discriminative capacity is given by jnana yoga. And if the vairagya arises out of that, then that is supposed to be the best of the vairagyas. Now coming back here, indriyartheshu vairagyam. Now what happens is, we have two levels. One is the mental level, the other is intellectual level. Intellectual level only gives you discriminative capacity. This is not good, this is good. This you don't enjoy, this you enjoy. But if the mind is very, very, what you call as powerful, it can even disobey intellect. Even the intellect says, you are a diabetic patient, don't eat sweets, but the mind says, hell with you, I will eat sweet and I will take insulin injection. That means we are overpowering the outpassing the intellectual level. That means we don't have the intellectual control within us. That means if the intellectual control is not there, and if you allow the mind to wander about, naturally it creates a vikshepam, agitation in the mind. And once the agitation in the mind is taken place, delusion takes place in the intellect. And once the delusion takes place in the intellect, then you do not know what you are doing. Smriti brahmshat buddhi nasaha, and buddhi nasat pranashyati. So you can see the fault. So today we don't have adequate discriminative capacity because we see only the glamour portion of the world, but we don't see the other side of the world. That's why he says in the next line, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. What are the defects? If you have got a body orientation, suppose I have abhimanam with the body, I have Janma, birth, which already has taken place after a very serious karagraham, 9 months in the womb of the mother. Janma, Mrityu, that is the end of it, everybody knows. Jara, old age. Nobody can prevent old age. Whatever makeup you do, whatever care you take, skin care, dental care, eye care, body care, physical care, go to gym, go to walking, but jara cannot be prevented. And vyadi, disease. Disease also is common. So these are the 4 dukkha's, major dukkha's in the body appreciation. If I am enamored with the sharira, janma, mrityu, jara, vyadi, dukkha, dosha, anudarsanam. So what here he says is, you go on contemplating on the old age, on the maranam. Ramana Maharshi did this because somebody told Ramana Maharshi, you go and die. He took it as a gospel. Then he wanted to know what is death. That's how he left Madurai and went to Tiruvannamalai, and then he got the solution. So Marana Dhyanam is very, very important. we will all get scared, what is meant by dhyanam of maranam, maranadhyanam. Maranadhyanam is nothing but you, like what you are dreaming. Just one day, sit, yes, you see yourself that you are a dead person. So if you are a dead person, what all happens? A few people will join together, they will arrange for the cremation, and some people will weep, some people will just don't care about it. And after 1 month, the deceased relation will start looking at serials because he has forgotten. So that means this Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. So all these are very common. But unfortunately, we are trained to look only at the good aspects of life today. Oh, I have achieved this. I am a wealthy person. I have enough money. That means I got security. I don't have to care by anybody. Today, even if I got money, nothing is going to happen to you because money is not helping you to avoid the sickness. So this is a shloka. It's a very, very concentrated tablet, medicine, which we should use in our daily life to say that this life is not permanent. It is anityam. Anityam means not permanent. So this is the meditation we should do. And to help that is vairagya. So that means indriyartheshu vairagyam anahankara evacha. Now, here use the word anahankara. Anahankara means no ahankara. If you add, to ahankara, anahankara. What is ahankara? Ahankara is also lack of viveka. That I am a qualified person. When I go to any program, I should be given a favorable seat. I should be respected. That's called garvam, you can call it. Ahankara is nothing but garvam. Now, how long this garvam will remain? Anahankara is absence of self-importance or pride. To conquer this ahankara, easiest method is that please have a thinking that all the objects, relations, situations has been given to you by Bhagavan, by the Lord. So that means if you surrender to Bhagavan, then your ahankara will automatically come down and then you will become an anahankara. Now we have already discussed 3 terms. Amanitvam is also conceit, self-conceit. Adambitvam is also show off. So why Krishna has used these 3 terms? Amanitvam, Adambitvam, Anahankaraha. In fact, all the 3 are same this thing. One is at the mental level. Amanitvam is at mental level. That means self-conceit is at mental level. It has not been expressed. It has not manifested. When it is manifested, it becomes adambitvam. Expressed manitvam is agambitvam, adambitvam. Amanitvam is freedom from self-conceit at mental level or thought level. Whereas Anahankara is freedom from self-conceit at verbal level. Aham iti karanam is ahankara. Aham iti karanam. I, me, mine. So this is constantly thinking about that. So one, and adambitvam is at kaiga level, body level. At body level, we show off. If I have enough money, I will show off. I will put a 500 rupee note in my pocket so that it will be visible to all the people. So that is the ahankara, adambitvam, and dambitvam is showing off. Adambitvam is opposite of dambitvam. From the Vedantic point of view, anatmani aham buddhi. Anatmani aham buddhi. That's what we have today. We are all anatmas. We are not even go nearer to the atma. In other words, you can call it a anatma means, nothing but a weak mind. So when it's a weak mind, what happens? We get attached to small things. So somebody says, in the morning, if I don't look at the newspaper, I'm not comfortable for the whole day. If I don't have coffee in the morning, I'm not comfortable for the whole day. Whole day is disturbed because no coffee. Coffee dhyana. The opposite to get out of this particular anahankara is, that is the reason why we are observing tapas, austerity. See, on Ekadashi day, one day you got everything in your house, everything. Food is available, morning coffee is available, everything is available, but you voluntarily give up. Voluntarily give up all these and be abstinent from. It's not because non-availability, it is available, but still, you're cultivating that austerity to deny yourself what is essentially required. And this will create vairagyam. So vairagyam should get developed automatically by denying yourself that an object which is a bhoga object is not going to give me permanent pleasure, peace, and because I have seen the other side of bhoga item, it is only giving me dukkham, that I am anudarsanam, every day I am contemplating. So if we get a grip of this vairagyam, then our what you call as future life will be our day-to-day life will be beneficial. Today, lack of peace. One small thing starts agitating your mind. So, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, Dukkha, Dosha, Anudarsanam. We should get out of this body-oriented Abhimanam. These are all called, this body is only a limited object of ours. We have to go to a higher plane. See, for example, if you take Mahatma Gandhi, so we have an Annamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha. As long as we are in Annamaya Kosha, so we are only enamored by food and other things. Nothing more than that. But if you want to get Abhimanam, in the case of Gandhi, he had Abhimanam on the Vijnanamaya Kosha, intellectual appreciation. So he was not bothered about what happens to the body. He was kept in a jail. with, very, very poor food and all that, and also some punishment. But he was not bothered. He was very happy because, his goal is something higher. So if you have to go to a higher goal, you have to leave the bottom one. It's like climbing a ladder. If you cling to the first step, you cannot go up. So you have to give up that first step, go to the second step, go to the third step. That's how slowly climb up. That is the same thing in. So when I look at dosha anudarshanam, I should first get out of Annamaya Kosha, then go to Pranamaya Kosha, then go, because as you go up, it is more subtle. And more subtle means it is very difficult to understand. Conception is very difficult, conceiving. A gross item we can conceive, but not a subtle item. So from now today for the body level, if you look at the cities and all that, we have body care, we have tooth care, eye care, brow care, hair care. I mean, there is no part of the body which is left which is not being cared. Krishna says, see the dosha darshanam. Here we are giving an example of Kathopanishad. You all know about Nachiketa and Yama. Yama was the guru, Nachiketa was the Shishya. He was only 10 years old. Nachiketa went to Yamaloka and he had 3 boons. One boon was he wanted to know what is Atmaknana. And Yama told him, except that question you ask anything, I will give you any amount of wealth, any amount of enjoyment. I will give you Swargaloka. I will give you everything, even long life. And what Nachiketa said, keep all this with you. Then Yamadharmaja thought, this is an immature boy, he doesn't know what is the meaning of the wealth. But then this boy told him the reason why I don't want any of these things, you keep it with you, because 3 conditions. 1, you have given me this body. And when I become old age, jara, then all my organs in the body, they are totally worn out. So even if you give me all the items of enjoyment, bhoga item, I will not be able to enjoy because my organs are not there to enjoy. Today, even you can see many in our own life that they don't have even the strength to push a remote control button to see some TV program because that much strength is not there. So you got everything with you. Remote control is there, TV is there, your body is there, but with all that, the strength of the body is gone, that part. So that's what he told Yama. So all these items, what you give me has no meaning as far as jara is going to take place. Then the second reason he gave was, your position is not permanent. If tomorrow a pralayam comes, and what is the guarantee that you will be appointed as Yamadharmaraja in the next birth, next loka? That means when you are not permanent, how can you promise me things which are not under your control? So that means even that is ruled out. And the third is very important one. They are all anityam. Nothing is permanent. Because it is a transient. When it is not permanent, first of all, I am not permanent. Suppose some TV manufacturer says, my TV will give you 200 years guarantee. The TV may run for 200 years, but what about you? 100 years maximum. Then you are not there. So what is that type of guarantee? So anitya swabhava. And then Yamadharmaraja appreciated the boy. He said, you have got very strong vairagyam, dispassion, as a child, 10-year-old child. So these stories are only giving us. But today we have nothing. We are one of the weakest links in all our day-to-day activities. Suppose I want to get Atmajnanam. Some good satsangs are going on. And at the same time, some entertainment program is also going on. Say maybe M.S. Subbulakshmi is giving a kacheri. We prefer to go to MS rather than to the satsang because we are catering to the immediate needs, not for the longer needs. That is why I said we all have a very, very weak structure within us. That means we have not cultivated any of these virtues. These 20 virtues are 20 capsules. And if capsule if you consume, that means if it becomes yours, then you can imagine what is the strength you will have. And how will your life will be something very unique. So you see many people, many sannyasis or many these things, they take sannyasa, but they don't continue. Because they are also, suppose there is a sannyasi, somebody says, I will donate you some 10 crores of rupees and some land. Immediately the sannyasi says, he compares with other sannyasis, that sannyasi has got so many shishyas, I have lesser number of shishyas, and he has got an ashram, and he is feeding so many people. Now I have an opportunity. That means he has left sannyasa and he is now management of the ashram. And then he wants money. So he goes out and asks for money, seek for contribution, seek for charities. There are a few sannyasis, which I don't want to name. In this particular Janma, he was so, impatient to remain as a sannyasi, but to show that I am somebody, I am a biggest guru or something. And he went on constructing hospital, charities, so many things and all that. Ultimately, he died. So that means we should not deviate from what exactly we want to achieve. Atmajnanam is the goal. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. And even Artha, Kama is okay in the beginning. As Bhagavad Gita says, that we have said in the 12th chapter, there are 5 levels of bhakti. So starting with the lowest bhakti, you go to the Nishkama, Nirguna Bhakta. Become a Nirguna Bhakta. That's why I said no, Kshetratnya. Kshetratnya means he has no attributes. So this is a golden opportunity for all of us to do this manana contemplation. Just think, if I think that yes, my own organs are failing. It is getting older and older and older, and the strength is going on depleting. But I should not get disappointed. But I am at my achievement. I am at my goal. Mukshukta. I want to get moksha. So live in this world and apply for the moksha. So somebody says old age is one of the problematic solution. here somebody says, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, Dukkha, Dosha, Anudarshanam. Suppose I am at the age of 90, and then you ask me to contemplate on this dosha. And somebody says, if I do that, I will get depression. This is common, depression. I mean, this is worth nothing. This life has been wasted. So it has only created depression. No. Bhagavan says, certainly a depression may take place, but that should be a kind of spiritual depression. So spiritual depression means vairagyam. Vairagyam will set in. It took too much of time for you to get that vairagyam. At that level, you get vairagyam. If this is accompanied by contact with a great sage, tatsangatvam, the study of scriptures, contemplating and internalizing the teachings of the Upanishads and the Gita, and if one ponders deeply over the real nature of the self, this depression will lead to absolute self-realization. This depression will lead to absolute self-realization. So as we are getting older and older, if we practice vairagya, dispassion, instead of depression, you will get dispassion, and this dispassion can lead you for a self-realization. And for that, solitude, vivikta desha sevitvam is values which he is going to discuss later. Solitude heals and regenerates one who knows that divine alone is one's constant companion. So that means we should have a firm conviction that don't depend on any human or money or external props, because that is not going to help you. That we have seen. Even the doctors, as I told you, there is no one food which will give you permanent health, permanent removal of hunger. So similarly here, the only solution will be to look at God. So he says, solitude leads one who knows that divine alone is one's constant companion. If one fails to commune with this inner divine companion, if one fails to commune with this inner divine companion, solitude could indeed be boring, unsettling, and even terrifying. That's what's happening today for all of us. When we realize that sensory objects only prove the de-energizes like poison, real vairagya sets in. So that means whatever objects we are enjoying, they are like poison. They are only de-energizing us. It's not energizing us. So these three values, namely this sloka, what we have seen, Indriyartheshu vairagyam anahankara evacha janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshadu darshanam. We all are going to have an old age. We are racing toward the old age. And the old age you should enjoy. Instead of enjoying, don't get under the clutches of depression. Instead of depression, you should have rejuvenation. That means very clearly understand. That means you be in solitude, and there are a lot of our own relations are also helping us to be in solitude. And solitude is not a thing to be avoided. You should welcome it, because that is the only time you get mananam. You can think. Dukkha dosha anudarsanam. For anudarsanam, this is a valuable time. Now comes the next value. Asakti arabishwankaha putradara grihadishu nityam cha samachittvatvam ishtanitsopapatishu. Now there are three values here. Asakti anabishwankaha putradara grihadishu, second value. Nityam cha samachittvatvam ishtanitsopapatishu. That is one value. So I will take up asakti. Asakti is attachment. Non-attachment, sorry. Sakti is attachment. Asakti. Asakti is absence of sense of ownership. Absence of sense of ownership. Mamakara. What is mamakara? Mind. Sakti is attachment. Longing. Sense of ownership. Possession is different. Please note. Attachment. I'll give you one example of attachment. There were two neighbors, and the neighbor had a car and the other one had a motorcycle. But he knows driving and all that. So the one with the car, he got a job in US and he left for US. And he thought he will go and then find out whether I'll come back within 6 months. So he told his neighbor who has got a motorcycle that you use my car. You don't use my car. If the car is not used, it'll get it'll start deteriorating. And this neighbor who has the scooter, he has enough money to buy petrol, and he thought it was a bonus, some previous janma punya or something. And that man left for years, and this man had the car, and he started using recklessly. When the speed breaker comes, he will just jump over. He will not stop. Because something has been given to him for a temporary period of 6 months. After 5 months, at the end of 5 months, that man who has gone to US, he sent a message to him. I am not going to come back. You can use the car for yourself. Now. That means overnight, over a moment, at a moment's place, the ownership changed. Immediately, the mamakaratva came, asakti, sakti. He started cleaning the car. He started, wherever there was some paint gone, got a paint touch up. And then when he goes out, when a speed breaker comes, he stops it, slowly jumps over. So the attitude, see the attitude. What was the attitude before? Because not my car. It's like a rented house. I can put nails anywhere I need. Because after some time I have to give up. This is asakti. Sakti is again attachment. Sakti means mental attachment. Asakti radhabhishwankaha. Mental attachment. So mental attachment can be removed only by Atmajnana. Mental detachment, avoidance of mental slavery with regard to any external object, situation or a person. You can call it mano nigraha. Dhamma and sama. Dhamma is sense control, sama is mind control. And since mind, as I told you, is a subtle element, it is very difficult to control. Easier to control the outside items but than the inside items. So the mind has to be educated. Educated means what? The values. If I have the Sakti can create two problems. Main problem is agitation in the mind. And as I told you, when your mind is agitated, even if you go to a satsanga, you will not be able to concentrate. Or you go to a musical concert, you will not be able to enjoy. Because my mind is agitated. So opposite of this is Shanti, peace. Second is, sometimes with Atma Jnanam, we cannot remove this Sakti, attachment. For this, Krishna says, you can use Dharma. He is also used the same thing in the 12th chapter. Dharma is a rightful way of living. So you earn in the rightful way, you spend in the rightful way, use moderation, because I am earning enough money by dharmic method, doesn't mean that you should, for breakfast, you should eat 12 idlis or 14 idlis. There, moderation has to be used. So that means attachment will slowly get detached. And from there, we will come to Vairagya. So this is a slow process. First process is use Dharma. And from Dharma, your mind is slowly getting purified. Mano, Chitta Shuddhi will come. And then once the Chitta Shuddhi comes, then you are receptive to Jnanam. And once you get Jnanam, then you get Moksha. So that means all these things are, each value is very, very linked to other. It is not an independent value. So if you cultivate one value, other values will automatically get tagged to this value. So what Krishna says is, I have given you 20 values. Whichever is appealing to you, catch out of that one value. And be very, very sincere about it. Not just, see, now we know the problems. We are, if you look at our life, day-to-day life in Narayana also, you will see how many people outside they may smile at you, laugh at you, but internally we know, especially if you are moving very closely with people, you will understand their family problems. That's other this thing. I mean, there is no human being without problems. The problems will be there as long as you have got a mind. As long as the mind is not under your control, agitation will come. And for agitation purpose, the objects are available. The objects, that's why I told you, dhyayato vishayan puntaha. So if you don't think about the object, constantly contemplating on the object, then that object will automatically get out of you. But today, the other way is happening. If my neighbor has got a new car or something, I immediately want to possess myself. I also will go and buy. It doesn't mean that whether I need it or no, because my neighbor has got. That is added. So we should cultivate these values, whichever is appealing to you, but see the dukkha dosha anudarsanam, repeatedly do thinking and understand that nothing is permanent. The only permanent companion, constant companion will be Bhagavan for you. So next, there are total 20 values. So we have taken about 9 plus 4, 13. And next Thursday, Sri Natarajan will take up a few more values. And most likely we will be able to conclude this 20 values maybe in next 2 sessions. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Thank you.
Namaskar, Mama. Ramanathan.